Good morning. Happy Tuesday. It is time for just a word from the Word. Our passage this morning comes from the book of Deuteronomy. Yes, Deuteronomy, chapter 32, verse 4. And I'm reading from the King James. Here's what it says. He, speaking of God, is the rock. His work is perfect, for all his ways are judgment, a God of truth, and without iniquity, just and right is he. I was thinking about our Pledge of Allegiance this morning and how we end the pledge with, with liberty and justice for all. And I began to think of what is it that really gives us our freedoms? What is it that allows justice to be served for all in our country? Or at least that's the ideal. Whether you agree with that or not, I'm not here to argue. Um, but I began to think about how righteous and just God is. How that scripture says, where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. That the only way that we can have real justice and real liberty is from the presence of the Lord, with liberty and justice for all. So I have a question for you this morning. Are you walking in liberty? Now, I'm not talking about are you behind bars or incarcerated in some sort of sense under house arrest, that kind of thing. That's not at all what I'm talking about. Is your spirit walking free? Are you freely walking with the Lord, allowing Him to work in your life, to work through your life? Are you walking in liberty? Do you see the justice of God? Now, see, here's the thing. That one's tricky. That one's tricky. And that one trips people up. Why? Because God's justice doesn't always show up in the short term. Sorry. Sometimes when it seems that things are just not fair, life ain't always going to be fair, y'all. It's just not. But if we trust that God is a God of justice, just like we read, He's a God of truth, doesn't have any iniquity, His work is perfect, His ways are judgment. If we believe that, and this is the tricky part, because we can walk in liberty. The justice thing, yeah, that can cause some issues. Because God doesn't always act immediately, even though we want Him to. God doesn't always do things. Usually He doesn't do things on our own timetable. So why in the world am I talking about with liberty and justice for all this morning? We can live in liberty now. And this is your word from the Word. We can have freedom in our spirit because of the Spirit of God. We can walk where the Lord is moving freely in our lives. We can have that now. But we're going to have to trust Him for justice. We're going to have to trust His just nature, that He is a God of judgment. He's a God of truth, without iniquity. In other words, without unrighteousness, without unholiness, without sin. We're going to have to trust that. So, brass tacks, bottom line. If there's a situation in your life that feels unfair, God knows how to work it out. Trust me, I've seen it. It doesn't generally happen immediately. God knows, God sees, and God is asking you to trust Him. And that is just a word from the Word. God bless you. Have a beautiful day. And Lord willing, we'll see you tomorrow morning.